bills. My dad didn't want me to be burdened with anything. You reminded me over and over that you never asked me to leave the house. The day you came to see that office, I remember how proud you were. All I ever wanted in this life was to make you proud. But I've come to realize that my existence was already enough for you. Being the middle child is one of the greatest blessings of my life. I don't carry the responsibility of the firstborn or the mantle of being the only son or heir. I was simply me. I was your accountant, the middle ground, the bridge for my siblings. I lived at home with you and Mom the longest before getting married. Through that period, we argued more than ever. But I later learned how much you struggled with the idea of losing me. I could never have imagined that just 2 years later, I would be the one losing you. Sorry. I thank God you got to see me get married and to see me become a mom to Tara. I remember when Ifedotu and I were still dating, and I asked you on that flight to Abuja if you liked him. And you said, if you're asking me that question, Yimika, then you already know. It sounded like a riddle, but I understood. Your approval meant the world to me, and if I was seeking it, it was because what I felt was real. You waited to begin treatment until I could bring Terab home to see you. So I flew back the day she turned 1 month old. I would have come back the day after she was born if it meant more time with you. But God has his plans. My pops was the dad, the one who showed up, the one who believed deeply, the one who loved loudly, and who lived bravely. This loss is unbearable. There is so much we still wanted to do together, so much I wanted you to see. But I will carry you with me, your love, your lessons, your laughter, into every chapter of my life. Even in this grief, I will honor what you taught me, that joy is worth embracing, even when the heart is aching. And as Mary Oliver reminds us, if you suddenly and unexpectedly feel joy, don't hesitate, give into it. I will give into joy when it comes, because you showed me that love is not diminished by loss. It has expanded my memory. You gave me a love so steady that I can face the days ahead, knowing I'm one of the lucky ones to have had such a dad as you. Your giant heart still echoes in mine, and I will continue living in a way that reflects your kindness, your courage, and your faith in me. I will make you proud, Pops, just by being who you raised me to be. The plan was to spoil you rotten in old age, and although we didn't get as many years as we hoped, I am grateful that in the last year, we were able to care for you. And you knew how deeply and completely we loved you. You told us that yourself. So, Pops, I will try not to be afraid. All I can say is thank you for everything. I pray your homecoming into heaven was a beautiful one. And I'm sure you are documenting everything to show us one day. Forever and always, you're mystically mine.
Very well done, Yimika and Ife. Well, Arsenal are lucky. Segun was there to neutralize Chelsea for them yesterday, and the championship, of course, is now in the bag, so to speak. So, Arsenal fans, you're in luck. Seun and Toye. Who's going first?
Good evening, Your Excellencies and distinguished ladies and gentlemen.
I don't even need to say a word. I could feel how proud you are. And Dad, I promise you, I'm going to keep making you proud. I wish I could tell you one more time how much I love you. How much I enjoyed every moment we spent together. How much I treasured all our conversations, the serious ones, the funny ones, the random ones. I'm grateful for everything you taught me, and I'm even more grateful for the time we had together. I promise I will carry on the Awolowo legacy with everything in me. I promise I will look after my family the way you always did. I love you. I miss you, and I'll never stop thinking about you, Dad. And to end this, I just want to give some lessons that my father taught me, and I hope everyone can take forward with them. Number one is confidence is something you plant in your child. He didn't just tell me to believe his of my life. And I can't talk about my dad without mentioning how stylish he was. My God. That man had taste. Everything I know about fashion, confidence, and presentation came from him. He was always ahead of the curve. Half the trends we're chasing now, my dad was wearing it 20 years ago. I used to borrow his clothes growing up, even though they were too big. And people would tell me how cool I was. People still tell me how cool I am today. They don't know he's my dad. I remember one of my friends telling me how Prada have re-released the American Cups. And we were both laughing because remember in 2001, 2002, those are the shoes my dad was wearing. He was always ahead of the curve. Our family was everything to him. For as far back as I can remember, he made it clear there was no negotiating that. Even when work took him to Abuja, my dad was home every Friday. I still have a bit more to say. He also taught me what provision really means. I've never lacked anything in my life because of my father. Not once have I ever asked him for something and has he said no. That was the kind of man he was. He was steady, he was reliable, and he was generous at his core. And that is a legacy I am determined to carry. To be that kind of provider and that kind of foundation for my own family one day. When it came to my career and anything I showed interest in, my dad did not.
After my long, carefully crafted arguments, you would simply reply, okay, numero uno. And off we went, planning again. I realize now that you have been preparing me for this moment all my life. You are a big personality, loud in love, bold in presence, unforgettable in every room. And for so much of my life, I didn't realize how deeply you were shaping me. My curiosity, my confidence, my sense of wonder, the love for people, they all came from you. There are a few memories I keep returning to because it captures you so clearly. While I was in training in New York to become a banker, alone, stressed, and trying so hard to find my footing, you flew in without warning in my last week. You checked into the world of Astoria, our family favorite in New York. And you spent the entire week close by, not interrupting my schedule, except for one day when you said you wanted to take my colleagues and I out for dinner to Hakkasan, most of whom who had never even heard of it. Of course, we got there. You already had your guy. We had the best table. And they were all looking at the menu, looking at me scared like, sorry, how can we afford this? And I said in our Nigerian culture, when you have a dad, you have everything. After that dinner, they could not stop talking about you. And then you ordered a Viano to take us to the club, and they were in awe. But to me, that was literally just my dad. It's only in times when you reflect like this that you realize what you had. Or is it the day that I posted on my BlackBerry when I was in Seven Oaks in sixth form, 2 days before going to Nigeria for holiday, that I only had 17p in my bank account? You are shocked. Within hours, your London driver, Mr. Silva, was at my door with $1,000 in cash. Bear in mind, I lived in London. And you sent me £2,000 to my account on a Saturday. I don't know how you did it. I'm not really sure what you thought a 16-year-old needed that for, but you'll be proud to know that I used it to enjoy my life with my friends. Thank you for the father you were. Thank you for your faith, for the tears during worship, for the man you became in Christ. Our bond was intellectual. My dad never treated me like a daughter. He always treated me like a peer. He wanted me to read every policy plan. I wish I'd read more of them. Thank you for your faith, for the tears during worship. You never were afraid to cry. You were so brave. For the man you became in Christ. Thank you for loving Toye as a son. Thank you for loving Farah the way you did, calling her Omonla, and lighting up every time she ran into the room, to the point where she was reflecting the other day quietly, and we asked her what was wrong, and she said, Mama, I just miss my grandpa, but he's happy with Jesus. We know you are. As much as you belong to us, you also belong to something larger. And to honor you fully, I must now speak about the part of your life that shaped the nation. How do you memorialize a man who was the one making all the memories? How do you say goodbye to someone who was larger than life? Many people today will speak about my dad as a servant of Nigeria, a loyal friend, a devoted family member, a great brother, a steady shoulder to lean on. But I want to take a moment to speak about him specifically in the context of his relationship with Nigeria, because I stand before some of the giants of Nigeria today. My dad was a defiant lover of Nigeria. There was nothing and no one, honestly, he loved more, including all of us. He was a believer in her promise. We always knew he loved us deeply, but I have come to believe that the great love of his life was Nigeria itself. This was not a love he fashioned on his own. It was a love he inherited, a love many of us here have inherited, something that runs through our veins as surely as blood. It is a complicated love, even a toxic love, a love we sometimes wish we could walk away from, yet find ourselves continually hoping, dreaming, insisting that she will finally become the nation she was born to be. My dad loved Nigeria so fiercely that he loved her to death. He believed that the solution to his illness could be found here on this soil. He searched for them for a long time, refusing to leave Nigeria until the day we finally had to stage an intervention